The next one that we have over here is the Netflix release of Damsel, Millie Bobby Brown as producer, star, all that good stuff. Coming in to tell you that, yeah, that cursed movie that came out a couple years ago, I'm going to do that one better.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent. I'm not saying it's perfect, bro.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent. If she is going to be producing her own stuff and trying to make these like, yo, I'm going to like kick ass on my own. I'm not going to be like the princess who needs to be saved. We get a bunch of these stories, and this at least had her doing some trial and error stuff. The premise here is that she is a part of a family that's traveling to go get married to a richer family in the olden medieval times because they don't have any money. But they don't realize that who they're marrying them off to is this like very scummy family that consists of Robin Wright as the matriarch, who then uses, this is the only weird part, they use your boy Nick Robinson, who I'm pretty sure is pushing 30, to technically collect girls, right? So I guess it's you're already doing something nasty, so it's not that far off. But pretty much he's like marrying different women in order to be able to like, you know, they have
sacrifice
this sacrifice thing that they're doing. Yeah, good way to put it. And she becomes the next one. But hey, this is not a damsel who needs saving, but a damsel who will save herself.
Yeah.
The CGI isn't the best. I think you saw that meme where they were zooming in on her hair.
Yeah.
That's a Netflix issue. But I think she came in to do a movie that was pretty spunky for what it was. And like, if I had a daughter, I'd be like, yeah, watch this stuff, not some of the other boom stuff that's out there. At least this was someone who was using trial and error to get there. That said, I'm barely pushing a 3 here, bro. I'm not overpraising this movie. Yeah. I'm just saying, out of all the other stuff that she's done, she was a more direct character here than she was in Godzilla, which, again, I still can't believe she was a producer on Godzilla. And some of the other stuff that we were just saying, the Stranger Things kids have been doing that haven't been that profound. I think she's got a long run ahead of her, and at least this kind of proved that she was a little bit more of an action star. Not the best action star.
Yeah.
But she's working towards it.
I'm honestly not so sure I buy her in this type of a role. And maybe it's because I feel like
she's young.
Similar to Finn Wolfhard, she's playing this kind of thing a lot where it's like, oh, she's sort of smaller. Like, she's not exactly like a muscly person, right? Like, don't expect her to be this strong force, but then whether it's Stranger Things or even Enola Holmes and now this, like they're trying to portray her as this like secret badass, you know. And I find her more spunky than I find her tough. And sometimes when they try to portray her as tough, it just sort of doesn't really work for me. And I think
in a particularly movie is when that would happen, right?
Yeah. And I think particularly that the ugliness of the CGI you mentioned really hurts for me, because it just sort of feels like she's on top of this movie a lot of times, right? Like she's not fully immersed, she's not fully blended into all the backgrounds. There's this one scene where she's like climbing and she does not look like she's in that cave at all.
No. And she's staring at the dragon over there when it's
Exactly. It's the stuff like that where I don't know. I just never I was never able to buy in to this film. It sort of plays that like Prey-ish kind of thing where it's this, you know, lone person up against this monstrous force. And it's the kind of dance between them of, you know, who is in the position of power. Are you getting away, or who has the one up? And I don't know. I just wasn't, I think when you have trouble buying into the realness of it, it doesn't feel suspenseful. It doesn't feel fraught. So I had trouble ever really getting on board with the movie.
Remember when Sydney Sweeney said that she took the check from Saudi for the Madam Web so she could get the next thing? I guess that's what I'm shouting her out for. She is using this movie to get whatever that next thing is going to be through that Netflix check. You had brought up Enola Holmes. I think that's a better one. Than this one, because she is still able to do a little bit more of the spunky action. She's able to be talkative the way she wants to be. I don't think she's going anywhere. Out of the bunch from Stranger Things, Finn Wolfhard's had his good run, but he hasn't been able to lead things the way she has. BG in the comments had mentioned Caleb McLaughlin, who has been doing some good stuff as well. I know he's been trying to do a music career also.
I was having this conversation with Caitlin earlier. We picked Caleb, and we also picked Gayton. Gayton's on Broadway, right? Or maybe not anymore, but he was doing Sweeney Todd for a bit.
Which one? The one who was doing
Gayton Matarazzo?
The one who's doing the prank stuff
Dustin,
on Netflix?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I wish the best for all of them, bro. Like, I don't want anything negative. And plus, you have so many eras of careers that are on the horizon. Like, you guys can take a break for 10 years. One of them should be taking a break for 10 years until things settle down. And then come back and do some other stuff. But What route would you want to see her take? I want to see her do more dramatic stuff.
Yeah. I was trying to think who she reminds me of, maybe even just like kind of physically, right? Because I don't know if I buy her physically for some of these roles. So what path is there for her? And I think I'd like to see her on like a Hilary Swankish type of path.
Oh,
where
okay.
She did a lot more of those sort of interpersonal dramas and softer roles. You know, I think that's the other thing is the variety too. Because it's like I get it. You can play kind of like spunky and feisty, but I want to see you be a bit more vulnerable. I want to see you maybe in crisis, not always cool and confident. And just stretch a little bit, right?
Yeah, I got one, bro. I think that she would be a really good Keira Knightley. She's
there
British,
you go. That's another one.
right? Very spunky. I think that could be something.
But both Keira and Hillary, they're actresses who've had some turns in like tougher roles, like whether it's $1 Million Baby or like I'm a fan of Domino with Keira did or Pirates and stuff like that. Like you can dip a toe in or spend plenty of time in there, but you also have to give us the other side of the coin.
Agreed. But that is the newest one, Damsel, out on Netflix. If you're curious, check it out. Just don't zoom in a little too much because you may see
that
the
hairline. I don't know. Yeah.
They said maybe
that's the other thing.
Movie.
Maybe she needs to just get out of the Netflix bubble a little bit. Like I
it's
get
the studio that she's in. Yeah, they're not pushing her. She's a star child right now.
They don't produce a lot of particularly great original films. Some. I'm not saying to say none, but the hit rate's not that high.
So we'll see what she has in the future for her career.